Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast.
The Wondering Dutchmen Podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast, coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wandering Dutchmen. Yeah, yeah. The Wandering Dutchmen. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast, coming to you from Smoker's Lounge. We welcome you into the lounge on this wonderful Friday evening in real time. You're listening to us on a Friday morning or whenever you're listening to us. Thanks for joining us. On a Tuesday.
They could be listening on a Tuesday.
Well, that's why I said any time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just reaffirming your statement, bro.
Oh, thank you. Anyways, if you are watching on YouTube, you will see that there are 4 beautiful faces on your screen right now. And of course, you know the 3 for sure, but the one that is the mystery man stuck between Big Mace and Brother Dave here is in for a wild ride. Or we're in for a wild ride. Not too long ago, we asked for some recommendations for some interviews, and a local Holland resident said, "Hey, I've got somebody you got to interview." And I said, "Well, okay, what you got?" "It's my brother." "Okay, what about your brother?" And then she just diarrhea of the mouth told me a bunch of stuff. I immediately text the fellas and I say, "Hey, I got a guy.
Got a guy.
Could be a good interview." And that's how we have ended up with Lieutenant Colonel Derrick Williams, retired, on the show today. I asked
That was
him.
definitely in the shot.
Perfect.
Great introduction there. But we have Lieutenant Colonel Derrick Williams with us today. We're going to do an interview show. We haven't done an interview show in a little while. I feel like when Curtis Crow comes on, he's just part of the group. So
Yeah, he don't count
it's
anymore.
not as much of an interview. But Derrick, I just want to welcome you to the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We don't know anything about you other than that you're Treffin's brother. You're former military, and you now live in Huntingburg. So we have a lot to build on here in the next 3.5 hours to just figure out who in the hell you are.
Good grief.
Fair enough.
Good grief.
So anyways, we like to start the show off with just kind of catching up, seeing what's going on. So I'm going to start down there with Big Fella. What you been up to, Big Fella?
Oh, starting to gear up for Snowmageddon 2026. As of late, this whole week has been just nothing but snow prep. Got all the plows ready, got all the salt spreaders ready. We pre-treated all day today with salt brine and geomelt because of the absolutely Arctic blast temperatures. So got everything ready to go, man, and we're just gonna hammer. But other than that, we had couple basketball games this week. Big Fella had to sit one out because he had the old trash can flu. Haven't had to clean up shit off the floor for a while, but I did this week. So poor guy.
None of his buddies are going to hear that.
Poor guy. I mean, that's just to show you the caliber of the type flu.
Sounds like there may be an edit moment here, Dave.
But yeah, just the caliber of flu that we were dealing with here, buddy. He was banged up. It was pretty tough. But yeah, other than that, just getting after it.
Yeah, we need some trapping updates.
Nothing this week. It's been pretty cold. I had a couple.
Nothing for you.
Huh? I know. We talked about that last show. We've recorded since then. The neighbors. Yeah, our other trap line, the northern line. The northern line.
Northerners.
Has been producing. We got a couple really nice raccoons.
Ringtails.
A couple mapaches. That's how you say raccoon in Spanish. No, that's monkey. What is it? No, chango is monkey, and mapache is raccoon in Spanish.
Did you really go to work and?
No, we talk about it. We've already,
okay.
But yeah, no, we've been catching the shit out of coons. I let one go the other day. Had one in the foothold, and I let him go.
Why is that?
Well, I just didn't want to. Didn't have time to mess with it.
I mean, it's cold enough where you could dispatch it.
I
and just
have
let it
2
lie.
of them right now that are harder than cinder blocks in the back of my Ranger that have been there for several days.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, they don't stink because it's so cold. But
No, thanks for that science lesson.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna skin them out or not. The one's pretty banged up.
Well, I think your wife wants a pair of raccoon house slippers for Christmas
I
next
thought you were
year.
gonna say panties. That'd be-
Would you leave the raccoon head on it?
Oh yeah, that would
Like
be
right in front?
That'd be where the muff patch would be there.
The old muff patch.
Oh gosh.
So you just have a tail.
Yeah, that'd be great too.
Yeah.
But, no, that's it, man. That's it. Just getting ready for snow, man.
Now, Derek, I know this is the first time we've all met, but what's been going on in your week this past week?
So the wife and I took our camper van. We went to Huntsville, down to Montgomery, Alabama, down to Destin, Florida, and then we came back. Kind of regretting coming back now. 'Cause
Yeah, shit weather.
it's a lot nicer.
Oh, I bet.
Probably better company here, though.
Yeah,
We're still early.
TBD.
We're still early.
we'll see. I will tell you an interesting thing I found out. So we went to Montgomery, Alabama, and that's where a lot of the civil rights stuff started.
Oh God, yeah.
And we went to the Civil Rights Museum, Memorial, and went to the Martin Luther King Museum. Do you know that they're closed on Martin Luther King Day?
Oh,
that
no. Oh, no.
That's counterintuitive, and
I thought there'd be a festival going on.
yeah, you would think.
That's a tough
There
look.
was not.
I'll be damned.
Well, it just goes to show when it's probably a state-sponsored thing, and when you're a state employee and you got a day off, you're going to take it, I guess.
That's right.
I'm going to speculate to that, but you would think if that was your naming thing there that you maybe be open. So,
At least have a slushy stand or something.
Brother Dave, what about you?
Been a regular old last week. The old van, Jenna's old
Black
trusty
Betty.
van, it give up its ghost, at least most of it, yesterday on the way to a ball game. I think it'll still go backwards, but she don't want to go forwards. So we're going to go tomorrow and either put it on a trailer or I'll get a spotter to watch me back up 27 miles here to the house. We got to figure that out. That's the biggest injury to the fleet. We had another small fleet issue, but I don't know who watches the show. Don't want to embarrass anybody, but there could have been another potential fleet fuckery happen. But I think we got all that wound out today. So we're back up to 2 or 3.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, not a bad place to be. But just getting ready for this snowmageddon. One thing I noticed moving here from where I hail from, back home, 10, 12 inches of snow, like you might go to school, you might not. It really took a lot of snow to get out of school. And since I've been here, I feel like 2 inches shuts this whole place down. So with the 17 inches we got on the forecast, I think it's going to be a pretty laid back, except for Brother Mace, I think it's going to be a pretty laid back 7 or 8 days. I think.
Yeah.
7 or 8 days.
Oh, it's not going to get above freezing for
For a while.
a week and a half.
But it ain't going to stop them plows from getting the snow off the road.
No, we're gonna get some sunshine on Tuesday, even though the temperature's gonna come up to like 26 or 27 on Tuesday, and it's supposed to be mostly sunny that day, which will really help the salt go to work, and that should. Other than piles and stuff like that, if we can keep the snow,
I hate the piles.
yeah, no shit.
I thought you liked piles of white puff.
Oh, the cocaine. I think that's what he's talking about. But no, you don't want none of that shit.
I wasn't talking about the cocaine or the snow. I just
You
said I don't
want
like
none
the
of that
piles.
shit. The
Your wife has a look like she's watching a train
been
wreck.
gutting me like a fish since she's got here. So that's
This
fine.
is the gauge over here. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek, the thing about showbiz, especially the podcast showbiz, when your wife's in the crowd, you just got to keep pushing forward for the sake of everything. Because the only smart guy here that doesn't bring their wife to this because they got 4 young kids is me. So it really works out well.
The smart guy with 4 young kids.
Hey, listen, I got to have somebody to be able to take care of us when we get old.
That's fair enough.
When we get old. So, nope, that's all part of it. But
What about you, big dog?
well, I tell you what, I thought Tuesday was Friday, and I thought today was Monday. So it's just been one of them weeks where it was just kind of all ass backwards. So I don't know. It's just been
Maths.
Yeah, it's tough, but it wasn't a bad week. We started a new round of biddy basketball, and for some reason we signed old Rep Man up, who was just made the age eligibility requirement, and he probably maybe should have set this one out. But, we're going to give it 6 weeks of our best on Saturday morning, so
That's what you got to do.
it'll be fun. But, that's what's going on. We're excited, though, so we're going to jump into it. Derek, we honestly don't know shit about you. So
That may be a blessing.
Well, we're going to find out more, though. So I guess let's get an origin story where you're originally from and kind of go from there.
Sure. So my father was military and grew up all over the world. I was born in Utah, but I spent probably 9 years of my formative years in Europe. But I went in 12 years of formal school, and I went to 11 schools.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
Which explains a lot.
What's it like to be the new kid 11 times over?
It's military, so everybody was a new kid.
Ah.
But you guys ought to also understand that explains a lot about my sister as well. She lived the kind of the attitude was, I don't have to be nice to you.
Exactly.
Either I'm leaving or you're leaving.
She's a battle axe, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that would
I
explain
always
a lot.
thought she was a sweetheart.
I know it.
Well, that's because she didn't kick your ass out for taking your shirt off playing pool that night at the Legion.
Real knows real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha. So Derek, so born in Utah, you said, so your father was military. Obviously, by talking about how much where you traveled in other places, so he was a for lifer kind of guy.
He did 20 years, yeah.
Okay.
22 years, I think, total.
And what branch was he in?
He was in the Army as well.
Okay. Did he get
That was going to be my question. You were an Army guy?
I was.
Awesome.
so? What did he make it to lieutenant colonel?
Yes.
Oh shit.
He was a field artilleryman, so, you can't spell the word fag without the letter F.
There it is.
He wasn't. He did okay though.
Yeah.
He did okay.
So
What was your MOS?
I was an Armor Cavalry officer.
Hell yeah.
So he would have been. So with his age, he would have been what? World War II,
No, Vietnam.
Vietnam.
How many years in country was he?
Just one
Really?
tour in Vietnam, and then almost back to back one tour in Korea, and then we went to Greece.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
So did he talk about Vietnam?
A little bit, not much. Nobody talks about that, but yeah, he talked a little bit about it. Mostly, I think he actually liked it. I think he enjoyed it. I think he had an opportunity to extend a second year, and he only came home because of my mom and kids. So yeah, I think he enjoyed Vietnam. I think all Army guys, it's doing the job you train to, right? At the end of the day, I assume firemen like fires, even though it's a bad thing. If you train your whole life to do one thing, it's a good time to do it.
Right.
Damn, I'm in the wrong trade. I don't like what I do.
So how much of your father's military career was an influence? Because you don't necessarily always see that in military families. You do a little bit, but for you to do 20 as well and choose the route you did, like how big of an influence was that on you?
Well, I'm sure it was a bigger influence than I thought. When I graduated high school, there was no way I was going to the military, and then I was going to go in the military for 4 years and get out, and then 22 years later I got out. But maybe the bottom line was I had a social science degree, and I really wasn't qualified to do anything else. But
What the hell's a social science degree?
international affairs, poli-sci.
Oh, okay.
Soft degree.
Oh.
And I didn't really have any other opportunities.
So where'd you get that at? So where'd you go to school then?
I went to school in Utah. I went to ski. So,
Ski.
yeah, I skied for 4 years.
What's that mean?
It's what you do with the white stuff that you don't snort up your nose.
I know that. I know that.
So, so you obviously so you go to college. So I guess to get a lieutenant colonel, unless you did the non-commissioned route, like you did ROTC or something.
Right, I had a ROTC scholarship. I went to I got out. I got commissioned, and then I was originally an armor cavalry officer. Served my first tour in Germany, and so armor guys did go to Fort Knox, so that was my first experience with this area.
The Midwest.
So, is there really gold there in Fort Knox, or what's the conspiracy there for us?
I thought that was one of the things Trump and Elon were going to do, was count the gold, and then suddenly that kind of fell off. So I don't know.
So is there really no gold there?
I have no idea.
Huh.
Might be.
Okay, so first year's in Germany, then where?
Then I came back to the advanced course again, Fort Knox. Then I went to a little place called Fort Drum, New York, which is 23 miles south of Canada.
Oh.
And
So the nice part of New York.
oh yeah.
It's not New York City.
Oh no.
Okay.
New York City.
I remember the first time I got to a place called Watertown. And,
There's a Watertown, South Dakota.
Yeah, the Watertown, New York gets lake effect snow, and we're in the town, and I'm looking at these fire hydrants, and there are rebar on the fire hydrants that are about 7 feet
Yep.
tall, and it finally dawned on me that was so they could find them when it snowed.
Wow.
Well, but you were Utah, so you were used to snow.
Not like that. You don't get snow like that.
When I was in Grand Rapids, they got lake effect, and you would just see snowflakes just the size of your hand, it seemed like, when it would snow. And it's pretty, but it's a lot.
Yeah. So, so I did time there, then a couple of other places. Eventually went back to Germany for my last tour in the Army. So 86 and then 2026. Or 2006, excuse me.
So you've been out now it'll be 20 years then, if you got out 2006.
20 years at the end of September. Yeah.
So going back to growing up a little bit, where was your favorite place as a kid where your father's military career took you?
Italy.
Where at in Italy?
Place called Vicenza. It's northern Italy, just south of Venice.
So what made it so great?
That was just partly it could have been that we were in Greece before that, and Greece was so horrible that Italy seemed great.
Really? Why was Greece horrible?
Well, it was the late 70s. Cyprus had happened. The Greeks hated us, and I pretty much got my ass kicked every day by some Greek kids. And
Really?
that gets old.
Yeah.
After a while.
Sons of bitches.
Well, I one story, and this kind of explains my father.
Thank you, sir.
I'd gotten in a fight with a bunch of Greek kids at a playground, and came home a little bloody, but not bad. And he went back, took me back over there, lined them all up, and then I fought them one at a time.
Oh, shit. So how old would you have been at this time?
6th grade.
Nice.
So 12, 13.
Yeah, right.
You get home and the old man sees you a little bloodied and says, how many of them were there?
Yeah.
You tell him there was a handful. You head back to the park. He lines them up and you just go one-on-one.
Yep.
Man.
How'd you fare on that one?
I did good.
Attaboy.
Yeah, when you're one at a time, that's for sure. But here's a question for you. So you started out in Utah and traveled the world, Europe, the whole works. How many languages can you speak?
English and cursing. I mean,
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
that's about it. I
Really?
I mean, I can understand
Fucking
some
A.
German. I can understand.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ein bisschen.
No.
Yeah, that's more than what we got for the table. So
But I can order. I can speak Gasthaus German.
Right.
Right. You can order beer. Order.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah,
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ein Bier, nach ein Bier. That kind of stuff. But
Gotcha.
other than that, and I can speak. No, that's about it.
Yeah. I can only imagine like speaking Greek or speaking Italian and all that shit. Like it just sounds like they got a mouthful of peanut butter. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
it's
it'd be tough to just really tie in and be able to understand that.
But German, for example,
Oh, yeah.
is an English language, right? I mean, English is a Germanic language.
Right.
So where I was in Germany the first time was up in northern Germany where they speak a dialect called Plattdeutsch. and Plattdeutsch is the root language of Hochdeutsch, which is High German, and English. So some of the farmers, to me, sounded like English.
Really?
I mean, so it wasn't that. It wasn't that bad.
Makes sense.
You can always point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
So as you're talking about it, like growing up, Korea, you would, if you would have graduated, entered the military, so you would have been born what, 65?
64.
64. So your dad would have been, was he in country when you were born?
No, he went through OCS in 65, went to Vietnam in 68.
Ooh-wee.
I think so. Came back in
Right when shit was getting juicy.
69, went to Korea in 70, and then came back. And so at some point in time, he had to go in and finish his degree because he had not finished college, and the Army, to keep going forward, you needed the degree. So
Right.
he went to college for a couple years.
So what? If he was in Vietnam in '68 as a, like you said, what was he? What'd you say he was?
He was artillery. He was a forward observer.
Yeah.
And then he was a battery commander.
So was that like Saigon and all that, like the real good stuff?
No, he was in 4th Infantry Division, which was up further north
Right.
than
Okay.
Saigon.
And Saigon, the fall of Saigon was what, 71?
72.
72?
Ish, yeah.
Yeah.
So from Vietnam, so you would have been alive when you guys were in Korea?
Well, he was in Korea.
He was in Korea,
Yeah.
so you guys stayed back then.
Yeah, that was the old days when Korea was, an unaccompanied tour. You were up on the DMZ, the militarized zone, and hell, the DMZ existed. Well, American troops were on the DMZ till the 90s.
Right.
But back then in the 70s, you still had shooting incidents.
Oh, sure.
And now it's very different. Funny story. He tells stories about, Korea is an interesting. If you've never gone to Korea, it is a fascinating country to go see, and the reason it's fascinating is, 30 years ago they were agrarian dirt farmers. I mean, they literally couldn't. You remember when the Kias and stuff like that first came over? You could rip the doors off by hand because the welds were so bad.
Really?
And now, Samsung, LG, Kia, Hyundai,
They're all Korean products.
and they're the 15th largest economy in the world. And that turned over in about 30 years.
Wow.
They went from, there's farmers would take their pigs to the market and they would get them drunk on makgeolli. It's a Korean local alcohol. And they would tie the pig across the motorcycle and drive it to market. Sometimes the pig would wake up.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
That'd be problematic.
That's what I was going to guess. Whenever you started that conversation, I was going to say it seemed as if they were like this going back in time almost. You know,
It was.
they're so far behind. Yeah.
They were, and now they're not. I mean, you go to Seoul, and Seoul is an amazing
oh
town.
my God. Yeah.
So how much of that would have been United States influence there post Korea, and how much has been on their own?
Well, I think the fact that the United States have been there, helping them provide security and all that, and a lot of investment in there. But this is my opinion. Having spent that much time in Europe, and then when I went over to special mission units, most of the time I spent in Asia. We have, as Americans, our work ethic, that kind of stuff. We're much closer to the Asians than we are the Europeans. The Europeans, for the most part, I mean, I'll say it, they're lazy.
A lot of holidays.
All you
Yeah, a
had
lot of
all you had to hear was what came out of Davos this week, and you could know that there was some. He took the NATO folks to task a little bit about some things.
He did, but you go to Korea, I mean, every one of them has 4 or 5 jobs. They work, 10 hours a day. They are entrepreneurial. So that's why I think that they've done so well.
So you're saying, so we were talking about Korea was an unaccompanied trip. So where, like, would you, your siblings, your mom would have been at that time? Still Germany?
No, we were just in the States.
Okay.
They used to have They used to have like housing areas, like in Kansas and a couple of other places where families would stay.
And so after your father got done in Korea, where did he go after that?
So he came back. He had a tour at Fort Sill, in
That's Oklahoma?
Oklahoma. That's where my sister was born. She was born at Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Treff was?
Yep.
An Oklahomian.
That explains
An
a
Okie.
lot.
Yes, it does.
Okie.
She kind of has that dirt buster mentality
what
a little
town is that?
Lawton.
Okay.
bit. Do you know that, or are you just asking?
No, no, no.
Oh, I know that place. They got a great pizzeria down the corner.
Yeah. So, my dad used to say, so he had mid-tour leave from Korea in Hawaii, and he used to say that my sister went to Hawaii with him and came home with my mom.
So how many siblings do you have? Obviously, we know about Treffin, but...
I had a brother passed away a few years ago, but there were 3 of us.
Okay.
And he was in between Treffin and I. Treffin and I are 7 years apart.
So was he military, your brother?
No, my brother was an actor.
What?
Yeah, it's frightening.
No shit?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And I mean, he was
The sink.
He was the deal.
Well, you could.
He likes
fine.
sink water.
No, it's okay. I just brought those out for Derek. It's fine. Yeah.
So the
We got
so
it on.
actor, like what kind of, like Broadway or like...
He did some of that. He did some films. He did so I don't know if you guys are gamers, but
Yeah.
there was a DVD. This is way back in the 90s. There was a game about X-Files. Yeah, they did an X-Files game where you'd move a guy around, and and it was real. It says, well, does he say this or that, and then the scene would cut to a different one, and he was Agent Craig Wilmore, who was the star of this
Video
this
game.
thing. Yeah, he did.
That's pretty cool.
He did a bunch of commercials in Indiana for, what was the name of that? The Meyer, was it Myers?
No, I think it was Kmart, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. But
Kmart commercials, huh? The old blue light special guy.
he did a Super Bowl commercial.
Really?
Yep.
I'll be damned.
That's pretty cool.
So, in fact, he had a write-up in Rolling Stone magazine. Andrew Sorkin wrote an article about the next great actors that were coming up, and he was one of the guys that was featured in it.
Nice.
But having said all that, never really worked out. Never.
Always so close to the next big break.
Yeah, he actually got cast on Scrubs
Yeah.
as McGinty's his name, the older doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of the Dick Perry.
right.
But when McGinty said he'd take it, well, my brother was bumped, and
Oh yeah.
so so it's always that close. He would always get called back, but he'd never get the role. So
I'll be damned.
I think that was I think that wore on him. I think it would wear on me.
Oh sure.
That would be tough because what it is.
Being
I
so
mean,
close.
Look at what Scrubs. I mean, obviously they're doing a reboot with a lot of the same cast, but like that's one of those, comedies where you could say Scrubs. A lot of people have seen clips or know or identify, and that could have been one of those deals where you do that, where it gets into syndication. Back then, that was a big deal,
Yep.
and you were set.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you needed.
It's
So-
kind of like this podcast. We're so close all the time. Just really wears on us.
yeah, it really.
This might be it. This could push you over the top.
Depending on what you get into, it could get us over the top.
Syndication is next.
Yeah, I wonder he's getting ready to call. I'm just waiting for
Yeah.
the phone call from him.
That's right.
So just kind of going through. So your father then from Korea, like where you guys are in the United States. We haven't really talked about your mother much, but like, how did she do it as like a military wife and mom raising 3 kids in that era?
Well, I think in back then, in the 60s and 70s and even into the 80s, America itself was one income families.
Oh, 100%.
Mom stayed home.
Yes.
And the military was worse than that. That was. It's funny. They would have the Officers' Wives Club, and you wore white gloves to tease. And so it's very
No shit.
very different.
Uppity.
Oh,
kinda?
well, yeah, but my mother got a ticket one time when we lived in Fort Sill, and my dad had to go pick up trash on the weekend for her ticket. So,
Really? How many arguments did that start at the dinner table?
you know, I'm not positive they realized that there was probably a lot of domestic violence going on because of that kind of but that's how.
By
things
you mean
used
the
to be.
U.S. military wasn't aware?
You guys
Well,
didn't buy a whole bunch of like socks and tube socks and bars of soap or like oranges, bags of
Yeah,
oranges
that's
or
right.
any of
That's
that
right.
stuff.
Soap party, blanket
Yeah.
party. Yeah, no, I, you know, but let's be honest, those were different times too.
100%.
So where did your dad kind of finish out his career? Because if we're in Korea and we're moving on, like he would have got. When did he get out?
So he Korea, Italy. He got out in 1986. We were on active duty together for
Can I stop
about
you for a minute?
Yeah, you got to pee.
No. That's the year I was born.
1986.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty wild, huh?
yeah. I was protecting the world for democracy. I
I was just a baby.
This shithead comes
Just
into
a
the world.
He was wrecking his mom's
if-
birth canal.
I guess if I had known that, maybe I would have chose something different.
No way, man. No, that's just crazy to put things in perspective. You know what I mean?
It is.
So going back a little bit. So when you told your dad you were going to join the military, was he like, "I'm not surprised"? Did he try to talk you out of it? Like, how'd that go?
Oh hell no. He was pretty
Excited.
adamant about me doing it. And so I don't think he was unhappy at all. He so he got out in 86. Before that he was so my sister did most of her high school in Belgium, and I was in college at the time. They were in Belgium. And after Belgium they sent him to the Pentagon, which was it's kind of the kiss of death. It's the worst place in the world. So he goes to the Pentagon, says I'm done, and retires. And then he moves to Fort Wayne.
Really?
And so that's why. I mean that he worked for what at the time was Magnavox, and then it became Philips,
yeah.
and then it became Raytheon. So he was a program manager for Raytheon, and so my sister graduated high school in Fort Wayne and went to Indiana State and met Tim.
Loser.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Brian. I get my Lucers mixed up all the time. Brian's the loser.
And then, so all of that because he retired and went to Indiana. I live here now, and I believe that's not good.
So you mentioned you and your father were serving at the same time. Was that a cool father-son moment?
I think it was not that I was in school and he was getting ready to retire, and he commissioned me. He read me the oath of office and all that.
That's
kind of
cool as shit.
That was kind of cool, but I tried to talk him into going to jump school with me. He said no.
So you said, when your father went to the Pentagon, it was kind of the kiss of death. Was that just where they wanted you to retire, but they didn't want to tell you, hey, you're done?
Why is it the worst place in the world?
Well, so it's called the Five-Sided House of Pain for a reason. It's not as bad as it used to be, but
A lot of suits and bureaucrats, which in that era he probably wasn't a fan of.
well, so he was a lieutenant colonel. 05. 05's you can't swing a dead cat without hitting the 05 in the Pentagon. I mean, 3-star generals get their own coffee. I mean, that's just the way the Pentagon is.
Oh, shit.
And you work 12 to 18 hours a day. You work 7 days a week. They have loyalty checks on the weekend to see if you come in. I mean, it's just brutal.
Wow.
And
So as a lieutenant colonel, like you said, in 05, like he basically scrubbing shitters and sweeping the floor and stuff like that.
well, colonels do that.
Wow.
You just bring them the towels. So I mean, you don't. Yeah, it was. I did a tour in the Pentagon. I did 2 actually. One was punishment for some other stuff I'd done, but
That's what we need to get into.
Hey, we're going through the timeline here, brother Dave.
but
We'll get there.
there's interesting things in the Pentagon. I mean, you'll say, you'll write legislation, you'll write policy as a junior officer, and suddenly you see it on TV, so you go, well, that's pretty freaking cool.
How cool were the Lockheed Martin parties?
Lockheed has good parties. There used to be. So I'll give you one story. So
That was kind of a joke, but I know they big
have,
defense contractor.
So the USAA has a.
That was my insurance company until 2006.
Right, and so I'm sorry, not USA. AUSA, which is the Association of the United States Army, has a convention every year in D.C. and it's over Memorial Day weekend, and all the defense contractors come, and they set up in the Washington Event Center. They bring in tanks and helicopters and all sorts of shit that's there, and I remember Raytheon was there, and it was right after the first Gulf War, and so Raytheon makes the Hellfire missile, and they were showing this video. It was in the morning before, like, the civilians showed up, and it was gun camera footage out of an Apache helicopter that was coming up over the ridge, and you can see see what the pilot sees. You can hear him talking. And you see these Iraqi troops kind of scurrying around, and they run off. They shoot the machine gun at them, and they run into this bunker. And then you see the gunner fire. He says fire, and you see a flash off the pylon to the left, and you see him holding the reticle on the door. And then you hear him say, "Knock, knock, motherfuckers." The missile hits the door.
Oh, my God, dude.
And so
That would be a great marketing ad right now.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that would have been great.
there was. I always thought this would have been a great marketing. I'll tell you one more story. So during the invasion of Panama, was it Panama? No, Grenada. 82nd jumps in, and we suddenly discover, and this is the mid 80s, we discover that Army radios don't talk to Navy radios, and the fire support, the artillery, is being provided by naval gunships, but the Army guys can't talk to them. So a captain gets in a phone booth, uses his AT&T calling card, calls back to Fort Bragg. They talk to the ship, and he gets artillery fire.
Oh, my God.
I always thought that would be a great commercial for
AT&T.
Wait, and remember, because their catch line is when you really need to reach out and touch someone.
Yeah.
Collect call from Send the fucking gun.
So that's a funny story, but some of it is you think about it on like a grander scale, and you're like, the world's most powerful military in the world, and the Army radios can't communicate with the Navy radios, and you have this kind of dysfunction where you're like, what the fuck? You get a guy that actually goes into a phone booth and calls back to the United States to coordinate. That's just wild.
Yeah, and if you look at the historical, that incident caused a bunch of other things to happen, like the forming of the COCOMs, and SOCOM was made, and all these other
SOCOM.
So putting units together that were going to habitually work together and work out shit like that. But
so we're back in 86. So you've gone through, you've been commissioned, you graduate. What was boot camp like for you?
Well, so you go through ROTC, and there's a few camps. They're not terribly difficult. It's mostly it's not physically hard. It's it's mostly putting up with bullshit and not getting tired of it. I mean, to me, it's kind of just it's an attitude test.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not physically that difficult.
Mental breakdown.
Right. And then the basic course, you got to learn how to, play with tanks and Bradleys and, shoot them, maintain them, ride on them. I mean, I don't think it's difficult. I mean, it's not, when people think about boot camp, again, it's just an attitude. Either you can do it or you can't do it. And if you're talking about something like, selection or something like that, those are difficult.
Yeah.
That's just hard. But the basic, going through the Army, I don't think it's that hard.
What was any good boot camp stories?
They'd mostly be about drinking.
Oh, hey, welcome to the podcast,
good at
pal.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly it was the first time in my life I had a lot of money and I could buy top shelf stuff. So,
What was so do you believe you hear this every once in a while, and a lot of times it's just, different branches, they talk about it. The old hard timers are like, these young guys coming through nowadays, it was nothing like what we did. Do you believe in that?
do I think it's easier than it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, but it's different too. Kids now, the guys that are coming in now are smarter than the guys that were coming. I had guys that were damn near retarded. I mean, they weren't smart guys. I had guys I had to send back to school to get their scores high enough up so they get promoted because they couldn't read or write. My gunner, when I was a tank platoon leader, tried to circumcise himself. I mean,
That's commitment.
How in the hell did that come about?
That's a long story.
Thought it
We
needed to
got
happen.
plenty of time.
Well, I mean, he basically told me that, he noticed his looked different than his dad, and he thought he should fix it. We had one kid. This is a no kidding guy. His name was Private Smalls,
Poor
and he
bastard.
was in the trans platoon.
The what platoon?
Transportation.
Oh.
He was a truck driver. That's after my time.
Don't
I had
ask,
a buddy
don't tell.
that used to say that, when he came in, you couldn't be gay. Then it was don't ask, don't tell, and he had to get out before you had to be gay. But anyway, he's fixing a tire on a 5-ton truck, which had a front set and then 2 dual sets of tires
Like
on
a
the
deuce
back.
and a half.
Right. Yeah, it was a 5-ton, but bigger.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Deuce and a half. But he let the
Oh, yeah,
jack
two
let
and a
down.
half, twice as big, I bet.
Right. The jack let down on his hand.
Ooh.
And trapped his hand under the tire. And the sergeant decided, well, instead of trying to jack it back up, I'm just going to jump in the truck and drive it off his hand.
Oh, Jesus.
I think reasonable, but didn't
Not
really think
ideal.
it through. Well, Small left his hand down, and the back 2 duels ran his hand over too. So, reading the incident report was hilarious. So having said that, you kind of had to have a heavy hand with those kind of guys, right?
Because you couldn't pick it up before the duels came across.
Yeah. So, but kids now are smarter, for the most part. In particular during the early 2000s, where it wasn't the question you were going to get in a shooting war, you were going to go to combat, you were going to go. So those guys, to me, in my mind, were there for way different reasons. Right. I mean, they said, I'm going there. This is what it is. A lot of the people that joined the Army in the 80s and 90s, they were just getting money for school,
Exactly. GI
or all
Bill.
that's a GI Bill stuff, right? So they weren't. But the kids that came in later,
Our generation.
they're hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they were hard kids. So, I mean, when I went through basic, I did go through basic training before I started RTC.
Where'd you go?
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
And I had drill sergeants yelling at you and hitting you in the head with their hat right in the bridge of your nose, and and even then they couldn't hit you. But I don't know. The kids that are out now, they're pretty good soldiers.
So was there ever a moment when one of those drill sergeants put his hat into your nose and said, "Hey, I have a father that did 20-some years of tour in Vietnam and a bunch of other places. Anything you're going to say right now is not going to affect me"?
No, because not at the moment. I think later you think about that. I thought about biting a guy's nose once, but about
Been there.
That seems like a rational thought.
but it goes back to it's just the drill, right? You just got to get through it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just
They're just trying to weed out the weak.
it's just I mean, when you're in airborne school, they come out in the morning and they say it'll be right in the first part of the morning. They'll say it is possible when exiting a high-speed military aircraft that your static line can get tangled around your neck and rip your head off. Anybody want to quit? So it's just that game.
So did any of them, like when you were in basic and your other schooling stuff, did they know like your history where they're like, I know Derrick's old man? Because it's kind of a close, as much as large as it is, it can also be a very closed circle where, they knew your father was in, so you maybe got a little bit more razzing or got a little bit more harassment because
you didn't let them know that. That was kind of the key. You didn't want anybody to know that.
Oh, okay.
And you don't, no.
So you finish up in
No.
yeah. So you get
negatory.
You get done ROTC, you get commissioned in.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we? Or I guess to back up, did you always want to be a cavalry officer?
I wanted to go either armor or infantry, and I could read and write, so infantry was out. So
You didn't like you
in
didn't
armor.
So let me ask you this: as a Cav guy, did you ever ride a horse?
Actually, yeah, I was an exchange officer with the Danish army.
No shit.
It was the Gardesars, and they are so one of their ceremonial jobs is they're the mounted lifeguard to the queen.
Really?
The queen, now it's the king. In fact, the guy who's king now, Frederick, was a lieutenant in that unit. So yeah, you had to. Those guys had to be able to ride well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can ride okay. I mean, I know which end
Right.
you point, but
So there's a big Cav guy from Huntingburg, or from Holland and around this area too that spent some time down in Fort Knox as well. But
oh yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you know him or not. Jeff Souders is his name. They call him Happy. You ever met him?
works at Steinkamp.
Works at Steinkamp. So I'll have to introduce you.
Yeah,
sometime.
do please.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Does he have a black? Wait, does he have a black truck?
He may now. He's got a
No, he has a like a Chevy Colorado that's all jacked up with all kinds of military memorabilia on there.
There was a guy I talked to for a little while that, but I think he was a maintenance guy that was in the 11th ACR at what's that? The cigar bar, Oddfellows.
Oh, okay, in Jasper.
So he had it was a black truck, had a big, black horse on the back. So I kind of figured out which one it was and talked to him for a little while. But
all right. So we're back in '86.
Mm-hmm.
We get commissioned. Where do we go next?
after some schooling, Germany.
Okay, we're at in Germany.
A place called Garlstadt, which is northern Germany. So Germany was broken up into, Europe was broken up into three sectors. One was Nordtag, Sintag, and Southtag. Sintag was where most of the army, or most of the American army was. There were two corps, and so that's the ones you hear about: Heidelberg and Hohenfels and Baden-Baden and all that stuff. There was one American brigade in the northern sector, which was the British sector. So we were up with the Brits. So that made it very different.
How are they to be around?
They're fun, but they also it was the British Army of the Rhine, and while we knew our mission there was to keep the Soviets from coming west, the British thought of that as their secondary mission, and their first mission was to keep the Germans down. So they were very rough on the Germans. In fact, in Germany, when you'd go out and do maneuvers, you'd do it on the economy. So, somebody, if it was here, you'd have somebody driving a tank across your farmer's field. And the Americans would be very careful and try not to do that. And if they did, they paid what was called maneuver damage. I mean, a friend of mine's tank hit a 10,000 Roman gate with his tank.
Oh,
and,
shit.
You know, that's
That's probably a tough thing to live down.
not really.
Okay.
You're going to brag about it, but the Burgermeister was upset.
The Burgermeister.
The
Mace.
yeah. The road crew would have been mad, but the Germans or the Brits would just say, "Take it off the war debt." You know, they were rough on the Germans.
Really? Even 40 years later?
Oh yeah.
That's wild that would permeate that long. So how long were we in Germany?
A little over 3 years.
Okay. And where'd we go after that?
Came back here to the advanced course. Was here 6 months. Then went to Fort Drum.
So what's the advanced course?
It's captain's course. When you get promoted to captain, it's a lot of tactics. It's mostly tactics.
Situational training, stuff like that.
Yeah, leadership.
So we talk about it. So as a lieutenant, because you go in as a first lieutenant, right? Second lieutenant.
Yeah.
So what would be your daily duties or task as a second lieutenant?
I was a scout platoon leader, so I had 30 guys, 6 M3 Bradleys, and so just care and feeding of those guys, and maintaining the equipment, and you'd always have collateral duties like arms room officer, shit like that, and then when you're out in the woods or when you're on maneuver, you're the screen line. You're the 6 guys out in front of the battalion. Anybody familiar with kind of Civil War?
Yeah.
Stuff?
Just
so pickets.
forward
Yeah.
observing.
Yeah, pickets. Scouts are pickets, right? So you're just kind of putting a picket line out there, and
Is that where you always wanted to be, kind of out front of the tip of the spear?
Yeah. No, I always thought the cavalry mission was better than the armor mission.
Really?
So
now as a cav mission, that would be more of a like an information gaining type thing, basically,
Right.
just to alert the squad of what's going on.
right, yeah. I mean, you we used to always say the most dangerous thing you had was your radio, right? So you could call in air support, you could call in artillery. If you had to, you could use your guns, but you're better served.
Using
You weren't meant to get into large skirmishes. You were meant to make contact and report. And
Right.
get back.
Yeah, you're not supposed to fight. You kind of, if you get in a fight,
You've done something wrong.
you've sort
Or
of
you're
already
fucked.
lost.
Yeah, you screwed up. So we come back. We're in Fort Drum. So what are we doing during this time period?
So now I'm still in the cavalry unit. It's a divisional cavalry unit for the 10th Mountain Division. I am the A Troop commander for 3rd Squadron, 17th Cavalry. So where a scout platoon screens the front of a battalion, divisional cav squadron screens the front of a division. So same mission, different tools.
So even though this is not basically considered wartime, like you're still are these all just like training? Like you're more or less just
Yeah, a lot of it's
like training missions, like readiment stuff. Like you're just trying to be ready if shit were to pop off and stuff like that.
Right, but this is like the 90s, so we're talking Desert Storm,
Right.
Desert Storm. We're talking Somalia,
Yeah,
Panama, but that
Right.
was
Yeah.
that was a weekend.
exactly.
So
I did want to ask, when you were in your lieutenant duties, what was any wild stories of bullshit that landed on your desk?
I found a dead guy once in a pond that had been
What a
murdered.
guy.
So
Did you call Leroy Jethro Gibbs in NCIS? No, that's Navy, isn't it?
actually, I called my squadron or my battalion commander. I said, "Hey, you got to see this." And to his credit, he just came over and there's this dude floating in the pond. So we called the
Like one of ours or like a local?
the German.
Just a German.
So
Do you ever figure out what happened?
no.
Just kind of report and move
He
on?
drowned.
No, it was no. His hands were tied behind his back. It looked like
He definitely drowned.
yeah. He couldn't swim. He certainly couldn't swim. But there's a little bit of a, I was hoping I wasn't confessing to the pole side that I'd done it because my German was not that good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean that one always sticks out. I I went to French Commando School. That was pretty cool because French Commando School, the last week of French Commando School, you're doing
wine and cheese tastings.
You would think, right?
Yeah,
but it's not that way. You're doing a escape and evasion, and the scenario is France has already lost the war.
Shocker.
Surprise.
Yeah,
I'll be damned.
history would say that checks out.
Yeah, you go, okay. But it's like I always, we had the guy that would teach the hand-to-hand combat. It was a French guy. And it was all in French, right? So it didn't really matter because it was mostly...
Parlez-vous français?
Un peu. But it was mostly do as I do, right? I mean, it really wasn't hard. You know, the guy would, demonstrate something and he would, fully kick you in the nuts. I mean, it wasn't.
Oh, really?
You kind of understood this. Okay, I understand what we're doing here.
Have a damn.
No wonder they struggled in war. They just walked up, kicked guys in the nuts.
Well,
like you got to have a plan after that.
It always cracked me up was the first self-defense technique they taught was what to do when you're running away, you fall down. So
Imagine that.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
We're not. So why did you go to French Commando School?
As a cool badge. So, I mean,
Resume builder.
Yeah, there you go.
it's a cool badge. Look nice.
So we're back stateside after Germany. What are we doing then? So you came back for advanced school.
Advanced school.
Captain. So you become a captain in what year?
92.
Okay.
90 might have been 91. Doesn't matter. 90s, early 90s.
How cool was it becoming a captain?
So here's the difference. The biggest pay raise you ever get in the Army is going from second lieutenant to first lieutenant. And it always amazes me. So you talk about perspective, right? As a college graduate in a professional thing, as a second lieutenant, I made $18,500 a year.
Ooh.
That's it.
Wow.
Adjusted for inflation, it'd be like 24 now.
That's right. So that always amazes me. You know, it was really difficult when I got out and I was a hiring manager and these kids coming out of college wanted 90 and I'm like, no.
I defended our country at 18.5.
That's right. I was freezing my ass off on the inter-German border. You're not getting 90. Then they would get 90 and I would just
They would
quiet
get 90.
and sit in the corner. But
So what happens after you become a captain?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a little better. You're a captain a long time, right? So I commanded a troop. That's kind of a good job, and then I went off. I went to the after command. I went to the Joint Readiness Training Center and set up the. It was when we started working with light forces and heavy forces together. Before it used to be, the 82nd, and they jumped in and they had no idea what a tank was. In fact, my first battalion command, or my first the first group leader guy was a full colonel, had commanded a battalion during Panama. He was an airborne guy his whole life, and he'd never been in a tank in his entire life. Had no idea. He'd been in the Army almost 20 years. Had no idea what the inside of a tank looked like. And so, they decided, well, we need to kind of figure that out because we saw war was going to be more integrated and all that. So I got to go there, and that was again, part of being in the Midwest. That was originally in Little Rock.
Garden spot.
I kind of like Little Rock.
Really?
Yeah, it was okay. It was. I kind of like this part of the country, Southern Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee.
You get a little touch of the Rust Belt, a little touch of the Bible Belt.
Right.
You kind of get that.
Lots of belts.
Lots of belts.
And the weather is mild compared to
Till
Fort Drum. I mean, there used to be a rule in Fort Drum that you couldn't do PT outside if it was if the wind chill was 50 below.
Jesus.
And then they got rid of that rule. And
That's
so
insane.
You did PT every day outside. Yeah, one time I thought I was going to lose Herman the Monster, my I thought I was going to lose my junk once.
Herman the monster.
Herman the monster. Wow, pretty big cock on you, huh?
I like to say so.
So you're going through all this Fort Drum. Where are we going to from there?
Went to Arkansas, and then they moved. Then one of the worst things that ever happened in my life, they moved the training center from Little Rock Air Force Base and Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, to Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Oh, God.
And if you've ever been to Fort Polk, Louisiana, you know that if God was going to give the earth an enema, he'd shove it in at Leesville.
Wow.
Why is that?
Oh, it's the worst place in the world.
Well, tell us about it.
Well, I'll give you one example. So when we were there on national television, they're interviewing the guy that's the head of the thing and of the Joint Readiness Training Center, and he says on national television, because the scenario around the training center is fighting a third world country, right? So Cuba, Nicaragua, someplace like that, right? And he says that we picked South Central Louisiana to represent a third world nation, and we have spent $10 million trying to bring it up to that standard.
Oh God! How much flack you think was caught over that comment?
I don't think anybody cared back then. It
is a different era.
Yeah, we weren't so offended. I don't think that back then. So
the people
cancel culture hadn't started yet.
The people of the area would say, "Yeah, he's probably about right."
Well, I mean, most of them
This
didn't
place
have TV,
is great
so.
since they came to town.
But was the food at least good? Some of that.
Well, some of the Cajun, crawdads and all that was good. But at the end of the day, it's a horrible place.
So, what year would we have been in Fort Polk?
I was there for 11 months in 2000 or 93 or 94. And then I was in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas for 3 years. And that was partly to go to school and then partly as a training assignment. And then I went to I went to D.C. and I worked. I did operational test and evaluation on new systems, and then that time I switched. I left after that. I left the conventional Army and went to what the Army refers to as SMUs, special mission units. So I went to a special mission unit, and then I stayed in the special mission unit until my last tour, which I served on the European Command staff in Stuttgart, Germany. And then I got out.
So during this time period, the first Desert Storm's going on, but you didn't have to go into the same box?
I did, but I went as a replacement. So they had dead tents, and because we thought we'd lose a lot more people than we did.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of people over there for do that, and I ended up being on a staff of a divisional staff. Nothing exciting.
So when you say you got out in 2006, you say,
Mm-hmm.
Did you spend time in Iraq in the initial invasions?
Yes.
You're jumping like a decade here,
I'm
pal.
sorry, bro.
Yeah. We got a roadmap.
I'm just wanting to get into the juice, man. I'm ready to get into it.
Well, and I spent,
And more of a war, and like a generational war when like we were alive and we're able to remember.
So you mentioned that you did go over the dead tents because they thought there would be more loss.
Yeah.
So why was that? Was the intelligence that it was going to be this big protracted fight? Like, why was there that big kind of misjudgment, I guess?
Well, I think we always overassume, and the military's done this for a long time, and I think it's actually a good thing. We overestimate our opponents. We thought that the Soviet tanks were better than they were. We thought the T-72 was a good tank. We thought it would be hard to kill. And what we didn't know was
It was just a old Volkswagen on four wheels that they put a box over?
Yeah, I mean, more or less. I mean, it wasn't. There was no creature comforts. Let's put it that way. But at the end of the day, I mean, our shit worked. I mean, smart bombs worked. Cruise missiles worked. our tanks were hitting. We used to figure, you know, and I'll get into some geek shit, but there's round-around dispersion of a tank. You've shot pistols, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
So every round is a little different, has a little bit of different powder in it, unless you're shooting match grade stuff.
Right.
Right. So
Production ammunition will never shoot the same as the round prior to the one in your magazine.
Right. So we figured that our guns were good to about 2,000 meters. And we were hitting targets at 4,000 meters. And we were hitting 90% of, I think that was 96 or 97% first round hit. And, you know, the adage of if it can be seen, it can be hit. And if it can be hit, it can be killed. So we were killing their targets at 4,000 meters. They couldn't acquire us till 1,000 meters.
Because
Because their technology was so archaic.
well, they would have been using probably what, Soviet era.
Soviet stuff. I mean, their guns were bigger than our guns. Their rounds were bigger than our rounds, but their sights weren't that good and their training sucked.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we had crews that could hit a T-72 is 3 meters tall, and they were hitting 3 meter tall tank targets at 4,000 meters.
And 4,000 meters would be
About 2.5 miles.
so
16,000 feet.
so we would be so what is the end of 161 from Holland Junction to Holland? That's probably what, 1.5 miles?
3.5 miles.
3.5 miles.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, 161 to where?
So Holland Junction to, let's say, the St. Henry Water Tower is probably what?
2 miles.
Yeah, so further than that.
3.5 miles to Main Street in Holland.
Yeah, so it's 0.6, 1,000 meters, 0.6 miles. So times that by 4. You're talking
2.4.
2.4 miles.
That's insane that you would be at the Holland Junction down here with a tank and be able to hit a 3 meter target, a 3
Down
meter
there.
high target.
Into Ringo's driveway.
Yeah, down past the water tower in Holland.
And the fact that our stuff was really built for the desert, even though we didn't know that at the time. We built it all for Europe, but you had 4,000 meter shots. There's not a lot of places that you can get 4,000 meters. And so at the end of the day, our stuff worked. I mean, you go back, you're probably too young. You were a young guy.
Yeah,
but
real young.
Dave's the old guy on the podcast
so
at 41.
but I don't know if you guys remember CNN reporting from downtown Baghdad and talking about cruise missiles flying down the street and taking a left. I mean,
Yeah.
they worked. And so
Wow.
that was, in my mind, the difference. Was we thought they would be better. I mean, they were the 4th largest army in the world at the time that Desert Storm started. So we thought it was going to be.
The Saudis were?
No.
the
Iraqi.
The Iraqis. Okay. Yeah.
largest army just by number of tanks, number of people. Certainly not the best trained. I mean, and the other thing that we've kind of proven is it doesn't, numbers really don't equate.
Especially in this day and age, it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Well, I mean, look at Venezuela.
Yeah.
20 guys.
Oh, we'll get into that. And you know when we're going to get into that? We're going to get into that in part 2, which you're going to have to wait around for next week. So until then, what do we like to say?
Dutchman out.